Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to today's CommonSenseHD.com, the television show that's a website, the website that's a TV show. All you have to do is look up CommonSenseHD.com and you'll find both the website and the television station. And I want to welcome you to the show for today's guest. Many of you in Burlington will know him. He's famous for a lot of reasons and maybe infamous as well, too. It's Tom Fallon of, is it Bare Bottom Tanning?
Yes.
Bare Bottom Tanning and Empire Fitness fame for his boxing training. And that's how I sort of got reconnected with Tom. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself that we don't already know here in Burlington?
I've lived here my whole life. I have 3 children, married to a beautiful girl, Kelly. Love of my life. Yeah.
Keep going. I think you're getting there.
Just like Burlington. Been here, like I said, my whole life. I'm really interested in the kids, trying to help them make progress in different areas.
How did you get into the boxing?
I got into boxing. My brother was a professional fighter.
What's your brother's name?
Ray Fallon.
Okay.
He fought on the Irish Ray Fallon. In case you didn't know, Fallon was Irish. So I've been around boxing pretty much my whole life. He was pro like late 70s. Went off to the Marines, came back, fought some more pro fights. Got into the gym with him. Learned a ton.
And so, what boxing experience do you have?
I trained for 3 years. I won the gloves twice.
Okay.
Was in it twice. Won it twice.
In what weight class?
First year I weighed 147 pounds, and then I graduated to the next level, which is the open class, and it was a 156-pound class, but I think I weighed 151.
And tell us about the Golden Gloves. What's the Golden Gloves all about?
I think it's a national tournament that's held locally in different towns. Like we have one in Lowell. I think there's one in southern New England, northern New England, and like western Mass or something like that. And then you get together in your weight class and you bang it out.
What age groups are involved?
That's a great question. I think it's 16 and above or 17 and above. Yeah.
And so what do they have for the kids that are younger than 16?
Well, we just got back from a tournament called the Silver Gloves, which was in Missouri. My son Clay participated in that. They break the country up into 8 regions, and Clay was represented region number 1, came in 5th. Which was very exciting.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, he's only been training for a year.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I've seen him box. He does have some skills.
So,
not like his father, but you know.
Oh yeah, well, I may progress enough to be like him
he
someday.
might be able to train you.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be around long enough for him to take care of me.
So, what are the age groups for the Silver Mitts? I mean, I've seen I've seen them at the Elks.
The Silver Gloves.
The Silver Gloves
was I believe it was 9 to 15 or 9 to 16.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Silver Mittens I think is maybe even younger.
Okay.
I terrible with the ages. Sorry. So younger to like probably 16. Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting ready for that now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Who's going to be?
I got my boy Quinn, my younger son Quinn. I got Nick Curley, unbelievable fighter Nick Curley, and Clay. Yeah.
And so, how does the boxing progress here in this region? Like, I went to Lowell on Tuesday night. You were in Lowell on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And we're all sad about Melissa,
who
tried really hard, and she had moments of excellence, but ran into somebody who was far more experienced. And
I asked. I said, "How is this girl?" They said she's been around. So.
Yeah,
she was around a little bit.
Yeah,
she was around.
And but some of the other boxing was fairly outstanding. I don't know if you got to see any of it.
I didn't get to see it.
But there were some kids that they looked like they were ready for the world championships.
Amanda Pavone, she's gonna rule the world one day.
And so what's your continued effort with boxing?
Well, I don't want to emphasize fighting so much as I do as what boxing has done, like given me.
So tell me what that is, because I mean I've boxed. I boxed with you. You trained me some. I've done a lot of martial arts. I've done a big weightlifter.
Yeah, well,
I do a lot of stuff. So, but I understand what you're headed
Right.
towards, but so from a perspective of someone who's very athletic, I mean, there's more to athleticism than sort of the physical contact or
Right.
the sort of the cardiac workout or whatever.
Right.
I mean, and there, especially to boxing, there's a lot more to it, and people, MMA has sort of swept the country and
Right.
taken over, and people think that a lot of fighting is all that, and boxing's a lot more. It's like chess or checkers at
Yeah,
the
the art of
highest
boxing.
level. You know, it's thinking under stress. I mean, if you were a police officer and somebody had a firearm pointed at you,
Right.
And you were trying to figure out what you were going to do, that's boxing. Is essentially it. It's you know, it's not, you're not standing in the ring with somebody else
Right.
pointing a gun at you, but in some cases you might as well be.
Sure. And it's teaching a kid how to think on his feet, how to have confidence, how to, you know, I say confidence, but believe in themselves. I think it might be a little bit different, you know, to believe in yourself and have confidence. I see people who have confidence, but they don't believe in themselves. You know, they think they can do it, but when it comes right down to it, can you do it? You know, that's where they really got to dig down deep inside. I often say that boxing is a metaphor for life. You know, because you know, sometimes it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. You know, I can remember back when I was training, the road work didn't care if I wanted to do it or not. I had to
Right.
get up and run. I said yes. You know, I said yes. I would do it. I would compete, and then I had people depending upon me. Boxing's singular. It's like one man against one man, but there's a team.
Right.
You know, my brother was depending on me to be in shape for him to get ready for his professional fights.
Right.
So there's a team aspect to it. But again, I think boxing is a metaphor for life. And you know, Rocky Balboa said it the best. You know, it's not how hard you can hit, but how hard you get hit and get back up. You know.
Right.
And that's what we do every day in the gym.
So talk about some of the sort of the training that goes into boxing.
Well, so what we do,
Right.
we run a lot actually. We hit weights. You know, hit the weights. We work out with weights. It's some CrossFit, and it's a lot of shadow boxing, stretching, loosening up, balance work, sparring, hitting the bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I know you train. Tell me about the training opportunities that people have to train with you.
Okay. I train 5-6 days a week. Recently, it's been more like 7 days just to get Clay ready for the nationals. But I'm at the gym every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Usually about 3:15 to 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then Saturday mornings we have a sparring. You've been there. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And so that's available. We have Kid Camp that's coming up. It's going to be in the Recreation Department flyer.
Okay.
So you'll be able to find it there. We're going to put a summer camp together. We also have there's a Burlington event coming up. We're going to do a boxing exhibition in that.
Oh, okay. And so where could people get more information about like the summer camps?
At the rec department. Or they can call it Empire Sports Club.
Okay.
You want the number?
What's the number?
781-273-3331.
Okay. And Empire Fitness or Empire
Yeah.
Sports Club has a boxing relationship because of the owner,
Right, Ryan.
the new owner, which is,
Ryan Scottron.
and he was a boxer.
Yes, Ryan's competed. He's trained champions. He's the gym has a schedule of activity for boxers. There's beginners like myself. Ryan teaches. I teach beginners to intermediate. Ryan teaches the advanced. And there's another guy named Neil, wonderful guy, who teaches on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Monday and Wednesday. You could come to a lunch class from 12 to 1 on Monday and Wednesday with me, or Monday evening from 6 to 7.
And so what do you say about the people who think that boxing's only for the young? Especially training and sparring for, I mean, I spar with a lot of young people, but I don't think that it's only for the young. I mean, I'm more fit than some of them. Some of them are just bigger.
Right, exactly. You are more fit than most of them, but yeah, I think George Foreman told us that it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you can. It's in your heart. If it's in your heart, you got to do it.
Right.
That's the way I see it. So I mean, that's the one thing about boxing. And when I see people come in, I just say, if you had a magic wand, what would you do? That's all I care about. I don't. If you had a magic wand, would you train for a fight? And if the answer is yes, then let's do it. Because you never know what's gonna. You just don't you don't know what the road's gonna bring for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's train. Let's just get in there and train. It changes your life.
Well, I've always thought of boxing as a sport where you can suck when you first get in the ring, but there's an epiphany. And all of a sudden you wake up to the epiphany and it's like, oh my God, I understand what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like Sugar Ray Leonard, and it's it's not like you have to be able to sprint 4-4
Right.
40-yard dash. You don't have to do that.
Right.
It's not like basketball where you have to be able to
Yeah.
be 6'5" or something like that.
That's the greatest thing about boxing is it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It just matters how big your heart is or what's
Right.
inside of you. Because you look at any style of fighter throughout the history, they're not all like Sugar Ray Leonard.
No.
Mike Tyson's not like Sugar Ray Leonard. George Foreman's not like Evander Holyfield per se. They're both
Right.
muscular and stuff, but they're different. There's a style and there's a technique for whoever. You have a different technique than I would have.
Right.
But yours is effective if you can do it against me.
Right.
And mine would be more effective if I could do it against you. That's really what it comes down
Right.
to, the heart.
Well, that's the other thing about it is there's a lot of right ways. Whereas in football, there's only one right way. You got to cross the end zone.
Yeah, get that ball
over the line.
Yeah.
But in boxing, there are a lot of right ways to approach it. I know that like a lot of the training methods that you use with me when I boxed as a kid, they didn't use. I mean, I remember them tying strings to my feet because I kept on moving my feet wrong,
Right.
and they didn't want me to move my feet that way. And I had two gentlemen that were in their 70s, and they had boxed way back.
Yeah.
And what happened with them is that somebody tied strings to their feet, and that was it.
I must have met them in the 80s because I had strings on my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that sort of those training techniques are showing us that there's more than one way
Right.
to sort of
Good point.
to achieve the goal. And as well, just like I was working with Melissa and trying to get her to understand that she might have done better if she changed up and came out with a different handset. That woman was used to one handset,
Yeah.
straight up. And
Right.
that's what Melissa gave her, just what she wanted. But if she came out with over and under or side or
We talked about all that,
yeah, and it's the sort of that's the example of the epiphany. You could be Melissa in 3 weeks might have an epiphany and realize, wait a minute, and the whole thing just lights up for her because I think she started out with the epiphany and sort of forgot what she was doing that was right, and then.
That's a good point.
Because she had a combination she kept on catching me with, and I'm thinking, oh, keep on progressing with that.
Yeah.
But then she never threw that combination in her bout. She just was straight up. She was nervous, I'm sure.
It was a big event for me.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things for people. There's two more fight nights, right? I think it's the 17th and the 22nd. But you can look up the Lowell Auditorium's website, and they'll have the schedule of the fights. The next two sets of fights are championship fights for the novices. These are people that are having their first
Under 9 fights.
under 9.
Yeah.
So they have less than 9 fights, and
Right.
Melissa was her first fight against somebody who probably was having fight 9.
Yeah, nearly 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I won the gloves, I went in with 2 losses. I came out with 5 straight wins and the title. And then that was my 7th fight, I believe, maybe 8th. But as soon as you win a novice title,
Right.
you put into the opens.
Right, and you might have had that epiphany moment where you realize, wait a minute.
Well, I didn't have it the first 2 fights. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you have that epiphany moment, and it's like, whoa.
I can tell you where it was. You want to hear it?
Sure.
I was taken to Norfolk Prison to box with the inmates. A guy named John Dino Dennis fought Larry Holmes. I don't think he was successful, but he fought Larry Holmes, and I went in 1 week,